of life. We thank you for protecting us. We thank you for everything that you've provided. Oh Lord, as we're going to go in this lesson, we beg you that we understand everything that we are going to be taught. Also, get everything that she is going to tell us, and may the Lord protect us and we may not get the disease. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Come.
Over to you, Milton.
Sorry, my network had disappointed me. But okay. Yeah. Now, let me just share the screen.
No,
Okay,
Milton, before you start sharing.
Yes.
Hello, Milton. All you girls who would like
Yes, I
to
can
share.
hear you, Eva.
There are some girls who would like to share their answers from the last lesson. I have noticed we could select some 2 or 3. Our D4's hand is up. Our D4, I don't know if you're ready, but you can tap the bot on your screen. There's a green icon labeled share.
Yes.
If you tap it, what do you see?
Share screen.
Yes, tap it. I don't know if your work is nearby.
I started.
Do you have an adult to help you?
Teacher, I've done it.
She's doing it. We can see that is very good. We can see it. So before you can continue.
Okay, let me stop
You can
sharing.
start. You can start the.
No, first way to stop sharing.
Teacher, I've stopped.
Any answer? Make some comments on your answer. Thank you for sharing. Put it back.
Okay.
Because we might not have many to share. Thank you. Is there any way we can enlarge it? Okay. Thank you very much. And all of us girls, can we look at our default flow chart?
Hey, Mama.
Be careful. We have not muted you. I hear, hey, Mama. So if we follow it well, you notice that Kingdom Plant at the beginning has been divided into 2 groups, the vascular plants and the non-vascular plants. For the non-vascular, she has given us examples there, liverworts, mosses, and hornworts. That's very good. Let's follow the vascular plants and see if she's right. We have the spermatophytes and the pteridophytes. Very good. The pteridophytes, we have those examples. The one we know very commonly is the ferns. And the pteridophytes end there, right? Then we can continue with the spermatophytes. She has divided them into gymnosperms, like the fir, cedar, cypress, and pine. And then the angiosperms, monocotyledonous plants and dicotyledonous plants. That is very good work, our D4. And I think your name means something like thank you. Thank you. Yes. We can have one more person sharing. Thank you very much.
Any other?
We have Vanessa. Vanessa.
Teacher, I wrote my work in a book, so I'm not able to share, but I wanted to, when I went to the learner's guide and I saw how to like draw the flow chart, it said you can use
features or characteristics. So that's what I used. I didn't like write the names like spermatophytes. So what I just said, don't bear seeds, bear seeds. Is that correct?
I can say
Can
it is
you
correct,
show
although the
us
instruction was we were supposed
the
to use
video?
name. Okay. We were supposed to use names, but that is very good feedback. Although it is a correct one, it did not follow the instructions. Any other comments on the homework?
So I think raise up your hand. Those who have any comment, please.
Pal, can you talk?
I wanted to ask if instead of Kingdom Plantain in the first book, you can just put a list of different items which you're going to classify.
Oh, that would be a lot of work because you're not going to write all the things that fit in the Kingdom Plantain. The idea is you're showing that you're starting with one big group that has all the plants in the world. So if you start by listing, you can't have them where we have Kingdom Plantain and we continue.
Thank you, teacher.
Is that okay?
There is Nantale. Nantale.
Teacher, I wanted to request our default to please share her screen again.
For someone like you can share it again. Mirembe, make your comment.
Which I also did the one of putting the flowchart on your computer.
Oh, then, okay. Instead of our default, can we have you sharing yours so that we have variety? So Mirembe, let Mirembe share her flowchart. Please, if your issue has been handled, lower your hand. Wow. Okay, let's look at what Mirembe has there. It's starting with the yellow box with Kingdom Plantain. Again, you notice it has been divided into vascular and non-vascular. The vascular are ending up in the bryophytes. The brown boxes are the examples. Okay, yes, that is good. Then if we follow through, I hope everyone is trying to follow her flowchart. The vascular has been divided into the blue ones, that is the spermatophytes and the pteridophytes, very correct. Then she has only one example, okay, one example of the pteridophytes, that's the fans. When we follow the spermatophytes, you notice she has divided them into the pink ones. Those are the angiosperms and the gymnosperms, that is beautiful. And the pink, which are okay, first the gymnosperms, she has those examples, pine and cedar, that's what I can see. Then the angiosperms have been divided into the dicots, the dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous, and we have the examples. This is another very beautiful one. Thank you very much, Mirembe.
Wow.
You're welcome.
So can you share this in the Google Classroom? Two of you who have shared this, you'll put your Google Classroom.
Now, those who did not manage to do it
Teacher, they can't give
on
the work
computer, that should not display. I have the I've not had Akisa. Can you mention your issue?
What I was saying was that you have to assign the work for them to hand it in. They can't share it without being assigned.
Without what?
Without being assigned the
Hello?
work.
You can't find the work.
No, like they first have to be
Hello,
given
Michelle.
the work to do. They have to be given the work to do.
Yes, we gave work everyone to
Or they can't share it on the Google platform.
Yeah.
And even here, we are going to have an we shall generate an assignment page.
Oh, I think I have understood.
Yes, you can't share when we've not given work to do. So we shall generate an assignment page for that. I think that's what she meant. Okay, thank you very much. Eva, your line is actually breaking. I don't know if you're still talking. So girls, you've seen how we do a flow chart. A flow chart helps us in identifying the organisms when we do classification. So just like in Kingdom Plantae, we can also do that kind of flow chart in Kingdom Animalia. So our lesson this morning is going to be on Kingdom Animalia. Okay, it's going to be on Kingdom Animalia. We all know animals, and we shall look at them. We shall do the assignments. Now, in this lesson, you should be able to identify the characteristics of organisms in Kingdom Animalia. Okay, that is mainly about their cells, the mode of feeding, systems. Then you should also know examples of organisms which belong to the phyla, like Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Mollusca, and also other phyla which are in Kingdom Animalia. And then, okay, so we shall mainly look at these two objectives, but also in this, you may also have to identify and describe the common observable characteristics of organisms in phyla Arthropoda and also their classes. So to start with, I have a video just to introduce us to the Kingdom Animalia. And I would encourage all of us at home to keep watching like the National Geographic channel. I know most of you have this at home. So instead of watching the cartoons, you can watch National Geographic channel, and this will actually help. So let's watch this. I hope it is visible.
The world is full of many different types of animals. Some swim, some fly, some breathe air, and some breathe underwater. Some have skeletons, and others don't. To help us understand the differences between the animals in our world, scientists classify or sort animals into different groups that share important characteristics. Animals are vertebrates and invertebrates, or backbones. Invertebrates are animals that do not have backbones. World are invertebrates. Some examples of invertebrates are octopus and squid, insects, arachnids, starfish and sea urchins, jellyfish, crabs, and many more creatures. Most invertebrates are fairly small, but in the water, they may grow to much larger sizes, as the water will support them even without a skeleton. Vertebrates make up less than 5% of all animal species on Earth, but if I asked you to think of an animal, you would probably choose a vertebrate. Vertebrates are divided into different classes or groups. Several of these classes are specific types of fish. For example, jawless fish, like lampreys and hagfish, and cartilaginous fish, like sharks and rays. For simplicity's sake, these other classes are usually lumped together with bony fish and just called fish. The four remaining classes of vertebrates will all be very familiar: amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Let's look at the characteristics that make an animal a fish. Fish live in the water, and they can breathe underwater. They use gills, not lungs, to get oxygen from the water around them. Fish have scales and fins. They are cold-blooded, which means that they cannot control their own body temperature around them. Also lay eggs. Amphibians are a group of animals that include frogs, toads, newts, salamanders, and more. Amphibians, like fish, are cold-blooded. Unlike fish, amphibians can live on land and in the water and have smooth, moist skin. Amphibians lay their delicate jelly-covered eggs in the water. When the eggs hatch, the young may not look much like their parents because some amphibians must go through metamorphosis, or a big change. Some fish, amphibians are the only vertebrates that undergo metamorphosis. Reptiles you might know are turtles, snakes, crocodiles, and lizards. Like fish and amphibians, reptiles are cold-blooded. Even reptiles that live in the water must come to the surface to breathe. You can tell if an animal is a reptile instead of an amphibian if it has dry, scaly skin. Most reptiles lay eggs, but they are very different from the eggs of amphibians or fish. Their eggs are laid out of the water and have a protective shell. For the most part, reptile eggs have soft, leathery shells. Birds are easy to recognize. They are the only type of animals in the world to have feathers. Like reptiles, birds can only breathe air. All birds have 2 legs, and all birds also have wings, but not all birds fly. Unlike fish, amphibians, and reptiles, are warm-blooded. Humans belong to. Like birds, Mammals are warm-blooded and breathe air. Even mammals that
Hello?
Am I the only one who can't see the video?
No, you're not alone.
Connection has
So
We can't see.
we can hear you loud and clear.
We can't see the video.
We
can't see.
Sorry. Sorry, my network had gone off. Sorry, my network had gone off, but I hope you can. The last bits of the video was talking about the mammals, but for today's activities, we've had a good introduction. So I want to go straight into the activities of today. We look at the activities and we go into our breakup sessions so that we can do those activities. I hope the screen is visible. My colleagues, can you confirm that the screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So now here we are.
Yes,
These are our activities. We have only 3 activities that we are going to do. The first one is in your groups. You're going to discuss the characteristics of organisms. Yes, you can enlarge on your screen.
Enlarge by doing the. No, you do slideshow so that you have on your slide showing.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I was saying that these are our activities that we are going to do. That is activity number 1, identifying. Wait, this is okay. There we are. In our groups, you're going to discuss the characteristics of organisms in kingdom Animalia. Okay. Then what are vertebrates and invertebrates? What are they? And number 3, can we list down all the phyla in Vertebrata and Invertebrata and give an example in each case? So that is going to be, these are going to be our activities. Unless there is any question.
Milton,
and we are going
mention
to
the reference book. Milton mentioned the reference.
Okay, the reference yes, page 45 of your prototype planners books. For those who have the books, I hope you have them. So that is our reference. Then
teacher, from 45 to what?
Also use
you'll check where they are
internet,
answered.
please. Yes, on around page 45 of your planners book.
Milton,
But
that's good. His hand is up.
You can also use internet such as
Milton, you're breaking off. Milton.
In the meantime, we can take questions. I see Nachigude, your hand is up. Can you ask?
Yeah, teacher, I wanted to ask.
Yes.
Is the flow chart the same as the autonomous key?
No.
Let it be quick.
We have not yet studied dichotomous keys. What we did, if you came in early, yes. I'm glad if you came in early, you saw the flow charts that your colleagues produced. We have not yet studied dichotomous keys. We shall study them when the time comes.
Okay. Thank you.
Then Beata also had her hand up. Can you ask?
Teacher?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can I screen share? I found the video. I found the video. Is it okay if I screen share?
Video on
On the animal classification.
Thank you very
we're
much,
supposed to
Beata,
first go into our groups.
But you
Yes,
will
madam.
share that video as the teacher has put down there. You're going to do further research on YouTube. So everyone is free to get some videos to understand the animal kingdom. Okay. For now, let's first answer those questions. If we get time, we could share that video. Thank you for that work you've done.
Welcome.
I think we can go into our breakup rooms.
Bruno? Bruno is supposed to do those breakout rooms.
Bruno is in the class and I don't see the breakup groups.
I wish somebody was near his computer. Because we don't have the rights. We don't have the rights to do the breakup. Okay, but girls, you should start doing the activities. So that when we go even into our breakup rooms, you can share your solutions. So start the activities. You can write some notes there. So that when comes the sharing moment, you are ready.
He had said that we are able to do
will...
so. Only that I don't know where.
Can you do it
here? I don't see that icon.
Are you using your computer?
I'm using a phone. I'm using my phone.
Yeah, the phone is limited.
You're not.
Your phone is limited.
Yeah, they said we should download another Zoom thing, and I'm trying to download it, and I'm not seeing it appearing on my screen. Milton.
Primrose was asking, what is a Phyla? What is a Phyla? Mr. Bima.
Yes, please.
Mr. Bima.
Yes, Milton.
Primrose was asking, what is a Phyla? What is a Phyla?
You remember we are trying to break for easy.
Okay, you seem to be breaking also.
Plants.
Sorry, I'd gone out. I don't know, but I can answer. I left a question on what is a phylum. Girls, when we started off classification, we said the living things are put into 5 big groups called kingdoms. Then each of those kingdoms is divided into groups. The first group that the kingdom is divided into is what we call a phylum. The phylum is further divided and so on and so forth. So please revise the work we did last time. I see Adrian Musime, your hand is up. Could you ask? Oh, it has gone. Girls, we are continuing to answer the questions, and then we shall share. We are going to give you 5 minutes to write out answers in your books. Then we shall share these answers in this general session.
Who makes me a co-host? I'm on the laptop to see whether it works.
Yeah, you can do that, but Bruno is not here. He has a class usually at the same time we are having a class.
Can we do let the discussion go on, I think.
Yes, the girls are reading. We give them
should be
time.
research.
Share. Yes.
Yes, yes, we are giving them time.
But there are some hands up. Arjuna, Vicky, you
yes.
have an issue.
No, teacher, you had asked what is a phylum?
Oh, someone had asked. Okay, you can give that answer.
A phylum is a group of closely related classes.
Yes. So closely related classes make a phylum, and we get the phyla from the kingdoms. Thank you very much, Vicky.
So Vicky, you can lower down your hand.
For those who are just coming, Mildred, I thought you were sharing a screenshot of the questions. Okay, girls. I want to assume we are done with the questions. Thank you very much, Mildred. So for those who are just coming in, those are the questions we are doing. We should ending up. our groups. We are doing them individually because we have not managed to get to the groups. For those using your phones, you can change the waist position so that you have a landscape view so that the questions are clear. Now, this activity was expected to take 20 minutes if you were discussing in your groups. But now I'm giving us just 3 more minutes, then we discuss.
I'm sharing the work.
We have 2 minutes, and then we start the discussion. Okay, the way we shall be discussing, I see some people have started putting up their hands. When we select you, you give an answer to only one question. Please don't give us all your answers. We are going to discuss one question at a go. Is that okay, girls? So we are going to start on question number 1, where we are supposed to discuss the characteristics of organisms in kingdom Animalia. So how do we recognize that this one belongs to that kingdom? I'm going to select someone, then you talk. Akampurira, you can give us an answer.
Organisms in kingdom.
Akampurira, unmute.
Yes, teacher, have I muted?
Yes, you're talking, talk.
They are multicellular.
Very good, they are multicellular. Thank you for that. You can lower your hand. Apio, give us another characteristic of organisms in kingdom Animalia. Grace, your microphone is on.
Their cells have no cell wall or chloroplasts, so they cannot make their own food.
That is very good.
Yes, that is good.
Anyone else with another characteristic of organisms in kingdom Animalia? I see several hands up. Make sure when I pick, you're giving a characteristic that has not yet been mentioned. Is that okay? So I'm selecting Walakira Deborah.
Their cells
Deborah
have no cell walls. Their cells have no cell walls.
Okay, that is good.
Deborah, that one had been mentioned by Apia. Anyone with a characteristic that has not yet been mentioned?
Teacher, me.
The ones who keep.
Teacher,
Yes, Charity. Is that Charity?
Okay, Kahunga,
Yes,
Charity, Kahuga.
about their mode of feeding, they feed by heterotrophic nutrition, which is divided into three. There is saprophytic nutrition, holozoic nutrition, and parasitic. But heterotrophic nutrition, where organisms need food to survive. Since they can't make their own food like plants, they have to take in all organic substances they need to survive. That is their characteristic about mode of feeding.
Okay, thank you so much. So you can see they do not make their own food.
Hey, Charity, I want to emphasize when we are getting information.
Eva, your line is off.
Okay, Eva's line
You find
is
a
not
lot of,
very...
the most important point I got there is that.
Yeah, Eva, your line was breaking when you're explaining to her.
Okay. Now, can you hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, I was emphasizing to Charity that when we go out to research in other books, we'll find a lot of information. We must sort out that which is appropriate to what we are answering. In this case, the most appropriate there is the mode of feeding is heterotrophic nutrition. When we reach that level, we shall go into the details of the type of heterotrophic nutrition. But if you look at your reference book, the prototype, it is saying most animals ingest food and digest it internally. That is what is in your book on page 41. To ingest means to take in through a mouth. So I think that is a point you need to mention. They feed heterotrophically and they ingest their food. That was my comment. Okay.
The spelling of hetero.
Okay, I think we need to go to the next question.
Teacher, the spelling.
Teacher.
Spelling of heterotrophic.
That question.
Teacher.
Of heterotrophic. Can I spell heterotrophic and then I get other queries?
Yes,
Heterotrophic. That is heterotrophic, just as the sound goes. There was someone, Rukia, you're asking something?
Yeah,
yes, Gloria.
if you say animals
Miro?
are capable of motion in some stage in their lives, isn't it correct?
Gloria, unmute yourself and talk.
They are capable of motion
in some stage of their lives.
They are eukaryotic organisms.
My internet wasn't stable.
Hello.
I think the next question.
No, Milton, can I make a comment before we leave that one? Hello.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, there are many characteristics of animals, but we will restrict. In the beginning, they told you that the learning outcomes, what we expect to know. So we are going to treat kingdom Animalia like all the other 4 kingdoms we have been looking at. We don't go into many characteristics, but we are saying, can we know it's their cell structure? And someone has told us about how their cells do not have cell walls or chloroplasts. Can we know their mode of feeding? Someone has just answered that. And then can we know about their body system? Someone told us they are multicellular. So those are the 3, so that when we compare these kingdoms, we can compare similar characteristics in all the 5 kingdoms. But what you are saying about their ability to move from one place to another and so on is correct. Though make sure that you have the other 3 at your fingertips. I hope that makes it clear.
Oh yeah, that's
Milton,
okay.
you can go to the next question.
Yes, so girls, can we go to the next question? The next question is, what are vertebrates and invertebrates?
Okay, I see Gloria
So
Miro, your hand is up.
we answer that one in 3 minutes? So Gloria.
Vertebrates are animals that have a backbone, while invertebrates are animals that do not have a backbone.
Okay. So
It's very clear. I think it was
these are animals which have.
I didn't see. No, go to the page. No, it's not there. You're supposed to attach it.
Okay, we go Milton. We move on to the next question. Hey, sorry, Milton is already out
Looks
of that
like
class.
Milton is out.
He's been. Okay, can we go to listing down the phyla in Vertebrata and Invertebrata, and in each case, we give examples of organisms. Let us start with the phyla of the invertebrates. I'm picking people at random. Angel Mweru, can you give us one phylum and an example?
Porifera, which is the sponges.
Very good. Is the sponges the name of the phylum or an example?
Oh no, that's just another name for it. The examples would be common back sponge.
Okay. Yeah. But it is true, actually, sponges are examples of poriferans.
Porifera.
Thank you very much for that. Members, unless you have a different answer, we move to another phylum.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, Vivian.
It is Charity, but I didn't get the examples of the animals that fall under sponges.
The sponges.
Did you do research? Did you do some research?
Yes, but I could not get them.
If you check in your learner's book on page 42, the sponges are examples of poriferans. That's the example you've been given. Actually, this group of poriferans basically has sponges. That's why that is what we are giving as examples. They are, unfortunately, they are not common in our environment.
Okay.
These are sea organisms. Okay, I'm picking another one, Makumbi. Makumbi, can you give us some answer? Angel, mute. Makumbi is not ready. I'm picking
Sorry, teacher,
Adeke.
my hand has been up.
Who is that?
Teacher, mollusca. We have snails and oysters under mollusca.
Now, Adeke, is mollusca a five? Oh yeah, we have snails and
oysters.
Very good. So we now have two phyla, porifera and mollusca. When we pick, you give a different. Yes?
Eva, can I request that the person who is sharing the screen, can the person stop sharing the screen?
Okay. Thank you very much for having shared. You helped us.
Yeah, I want to.
Chirago, hope you were saying
Arthropoda. Yes.
Arthropoda, that's the pronunciation. Examples of arthropoda.
Arachnids.
Arachnids. We want common organisms. When we ask for an example, please don't give another group, but name an organism that can be found.
Okay.
So
Spider.
arachnids is a group. Yes, a spider, very good. Anyone who can give us another example of an arthropod? Anyway, we shall look at the arthropods in details. Let's go to another group. Joanita, something. Can you unmute? Yes, Joanita, give us another phylum.
Coelentra.
Coelentrata, good. Any cross-check the spelling.
Okay. Hydra.
Examples of coelentrates.
Hydra.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joanita. Let's have another phylum. Someone else, I'm picking at random, that's what I said. At Kunda, Vanessa.
Echinoderms.
We have the echinoderms, example.
A starfish.
Very good. Please mute. Birunji, you give us another one. Birunji.
Nematodes. An example, we have hookworms.
Very good. There is also another example if you look at your book. They gave hookworms and, okay, no. Nematodes are also roundworms, so the example is hookworms. Nasanga. Nasanga, another one.
Latyhelminthes.
Example.
Latyhelminthes. I don't have
an
examples.
example. Oh, so you don't have the book.
I don't know any example.
Thank you very much. The platyhelminthes are the flatworms. The example is a tapeworm.
Okay.
Please, girls, get the prototype. All that we are saying are clearly written there. You can get it even in soft copy. Have we left out some kingdoms? I see Cynthia, France.
Phylum Annelida.
Annelida. Example.
Earthworms.
Very good. I think we are done with the, thank you very much. I think we have looked at all the 8 phyla, which are invertebrates. Let us quickly mention the phyla under the vertebrates. I don't know how many do you say there are. I'm picking on Imochu. Imochu, it's Gloria's mic that is on. Gloria Miro, can you tell us? Vertebrates. Okay. That one won't answer. Imelda. Imelda, your mic is on. Can you give us the groups of vertebrates?
They are mammals.
They are mammals. The phylum, sorry, there's only one phyla of vertebrates. Can you give us its name? Okay, Vivian Sandra, your microphone is on. Tell us.
Mammals.
Mammals is a group. We want the phylum. Mammals actually is a class. Can you give us a phylum in of vertebrates?
Chordata.
Pardon?
Chordata.
I believe this is primary work that we are revising. So thank you girls for all those groups that you've given us. Milton, were the questions done? The last question. Hello, Milton.
Milton seems to be sharing the summary and is off.
Okay, sorry.
Excuse me.
Yes, please ask.
Sure, what was the answer for the phyla under vertebrates?
It's chordata.
Okay,
Chordata. We have the coded phylum chordata.
Please, I want to emphasize, read your prototype. Those answers were clearly there.
The fish, mammals, birds, amphibians, and reptiles.
Those are the examples of organisms which are under phylum chordata.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Is the
Yes, please.
textbook available on Google Classroom?
The textbook is there actually in the NCDC website.
We
but I
shall
think
try to
we
send
should
the prototype on Google Platform.
Google Platform. Yes.
Excuse me,
Thank
teacher.
you for reminding that. Yes.
Excuse me,
Yes,
teacher.
yes.
You can
Yes,
download
another
it
question?
off. There was a site on Google where you can download the prototypes.
Yes.
Yes, that is the
Yes.
NCDC site. Eh?
It was shared actually.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
Please get more.
Any other question?
Milton, were
Yes.
the questions done?
Excuse me, teacher. So
question
where do
100.
mammals? Excuse me, teacher. So where do mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish fall?
We said that
They are
is
coded.
Phylum Chordata. Phylum Chordata.
Their classes.
Okay.
No, remember we are looking at the phyla. There are 9 phyla under kingdom Animalia. So what? Can you look into your prototype? Hello, girls. Look into your prototype for those examples.
Milton, I think if the questions are done, you can harmonize and we finish.
Teacher.
Hello, guys. Can you pay attention? So we were looking at kingdom
Milton.
Can you hear me? Yes.
We can hear you. Maybe in trying to harmonize, you could give them, read through this file so that they get the pronunciations. We seem to be having a challenge there. To read those names out so that they can hear the voices.
Girls, that 9 phyla, they have been grouped under 9 phylums, and these are the ones which are projected on the screen. The good thing is that they're also there in your prototype books. So maybe the only thing you need to go and check is to research. When we say phylum Platyhelminthes, which ones are these? Those are we've said the tapeworms, okay? And when you say Phylum Nematoda, what are they? Examples are the hook, the liver flukes, the filaria worms, okay? And then when you look at Annelida, these are actually the worms which are ringed, okay? So examples, we have the earthworms, which are actually very important, the leeches and many others. Then we talked about phylum Cylindreta. Cylindreta, the Cylindreta, like this one is these are marine. Can you hear me? Oh, my internet is going off. So we had said that we have 9 phylums. So what you need to do is to go back and make notes about these 9 phylums. Write down the phylums and their examples. We are not so much interested in the characteristics, but at least you write down the 9 phylums under kingdom Animalia and give examples in each case. So thank you so much for paying attention. I think that comes to the end of the lesson.
Could you please go back on the other
Thank you,
slide where
teacher.
the phyla was
Excuse me, teacher.
displayed?
Excuse me, teacher.
Now, girls, officially the lesson has ended, okay? It's 1:05. Maybe
Okay.
Teacher Milton will handle your some few questions.
Yes, teacher, I wanted to ask that I didn't get the spelling of how these.
You can leave at late.
How?
Well, now the reference book we are sending you to, can you read the prototype, girls? We are going to make sure it's availed on the Google Classroom, though it seems it's already
The
here.
spelling of?
How the animalia feed.
Yes.
Yes, I didn't get it.
And how many groups are there?
I've not got her question, and somebody is
She
answering.
wants the spelling of heterotrophic nutrition.
Okay.
Excuse me, teacher.
H-E.
So would it be necessary for me to share the video or it's okay? Excuse me, teacher.
You share.
It is okay.
You can share with those who are there, but
Who are available.
Now left with about
Teacher, I'm going to put the
Is that Victoria?
people ever the recording.
You can share in the Google Classroom.
summary going to be available in
Excuse
the
me,
Google
teacher.
Classroom.
Can you see?
Please, the spelling. Please.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
We can see it.
Yes, we can. Excuse me, teacher. Teacher, in which taxonomic level of organization does warm-blooded and cold-blooded organisms fall?
That is, I think, in
Yes,
older. Hello? Are
Yes.
you listening?
Yes.
I think that is an older version of classification, where the organisms were placed into warm-blooded and cold-blooded. And with time, these have been revised. That's how there are now so many of these
Better volume.
phyla.
Should I add? Okay, teacher.
We can't
You
hear
get it, eh?
anything.
Yes.
All right. Somebody is showing for us.
Is that better?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Is it okay if you can write ahead? Is it okay if you can write ahead and even draw each phyla?
Can you hear it?
For purpose of revision for now.
We can't hear anything.
We can't hear anything. Hold on.
Yes? Teacher, you can draw.
For your own research, you can go ahead and do that. But for the current lesson, the focus was on the phyla. But for you to widen your knowledge, okay.
Fly. Some breathe air, and some breathe underwater. Some
Can hear now?
How they feed, please.
And here.
Okay, we can hear.
have skeletons,
This one going to be put on
and
Google
others don't. To help us understand the differences between the animals in our world, scientists classify or sort animals into different groups that share important characteristics. The two largest groups of animals are vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates are animals that have spines or backbones. Invertebrates are animals that do not have backbones. Most of the animals in the world are invertebrates. Some examples of invertebrates are octopus and squid, insects, arachnids, starfish and sea urchins, jellyfish, crabs and lobsters, clams, and many more creatures. On land, most invertebrates are fairly small, but in the water, they may grow to much larger sizes, as the water will support them even without a skeleton.
Beata, your hand is up.
Vertebrates make up less than 5% of all animal species on Earth. But if I ask...
Yes, the lesson was done, only that one girl wanted to show the video for the fathers.
Okay, fine, that's okay, because I need to end the recording. I wasn't aware.